Everybody, this is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast. We're talking SEC championship because, unlike some teams, could you imagine, Daniel, if you were a poverty program and you were more concerned over the previous allegations of a head coach you just hired instead of, now wait for it, preparing for the SEC championship?
Yikes. Did Alabama hire a new coach? Because they're – oh, no, wait, no. That's a different team not preparing for the SEC championship. Sorry, I lost track.
There's so many, Daniel. We're going to talk about all that and more next on Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Daniel, how you doing? Oh, no, I can't hear you.
You can't. How about
there
now?
We go. There we go. Now? How about now, Daniel? Daniel's back. By the way, before he starts in, this episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. More on them in a bit. Daniel, it's SEC week. What's going on?
Well, I'm recording on my phone. I can't hear half the words you're saying. There's a video playing in the background. It's not even supposed to be playing. I can't figure out how to unmute my microphone. So basically, I'm like the Auburn athletic director right now. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just hoping that it works out okay in the end.
Just keep on going through the motions. Eventually, you'll get to something. I don't know if it's a good something or a bad something, but it's certainly something.
Are there comments? Does Auburn have like a YouTube page where I can type in the comments like, you guys suck? Like, is that something I could do, or is that just here? That's just this?
That's just this, Daniel. That's just here.
Well, listen, let's talk about this SEC championship game, Clint, because it's a bit of the drama is gone. Wouldn't you agree? Because LSU went out and they just defecated all down their leg.
It's called Brian Kelly.
Last weekend, it was not pretty. Texas A&M ain't won nary a game this year. And now all of a sudden, LSU rolls in week 12. And they need 2 wins to go to the college football playoff. And they are 0-1 so far in those 2 games. So a little bit of the air coming out of the balloon. Georgia's going to make the playoff no matter what happens in this game. That we know definitively. LSU's not going to make the playoff no matter what happens in this game. That we know definitively. And so I ask you this, Clint, and this is where I'd love to start the show. Because I think this is a legitimate, as a Georgia fan, let me just get this out of the way first. As a Georgia fan, you want to win this game.
Yes, don't play anything else besides that. Don't think about anything else besides that.
You badly want to win this game.
Yes.
Okay? When trolls, if we lose this game and trolls jump on here and they're talking about how Georgia blew it and they are the ones that defecated down their leg, that will be absolutely true. This will not be it doesn't matter, we're in the playoff anyway. We want to win this game as Georgia fans. And so I think this is a legitimate question and a legitimate concern heading into the game. Is motivation an issue for this Georgia team and for Kirby Smart and crew? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that and maybe just why or why not. Because seemingly Georgia has very little to play for in terms of their ultimate goal in this game.
There's a bunch of coach speak that happens in the world. Like we're playing 1 week at a time.
Sure.
We're on to Cincinnati, all of that. Sure. Right.
Whatever.
Except Kirby Smart, Daniel. Like he says these words and it's the coach speak. And then you begin actually thinking underneath. You and I, if we said that, we would be laughed at. Because we're not on the team. And so we're fans. We get to enjoy this sort of thing. Okay.
Is that what we've been saying all along? Because I feel like we're just getting laughed at perpetually. Anyway, it's maybe I misunderstood the point of the show.
Point of the show is to be a fan, which we are very, very good at. But here's the other thing. Kirby wants to crush people at everything. Anytime, any place. This team wants to crush people anytime, any place. They enjoy doing that. They enjoy playing the sport that they love. That's the big thing, Daniel. And that's what I want to concentrate. This game is important. You heard Kirby said, it's the SEC championship. If somebody's thinking not to play for an SEC championship, you've missed the whole point. You're typically playing at Texas A&M if you don't care about SEC championships and you care about other things. That's what you're doing in your life. You come to Georgia to win, and they do so at a staggering rate, and we will continue doing so. And so, yeah, I have no worry about them getting up in this game because this starts a new season. Daniel, welcome to the new season.
Last season was good. I liked it.
Last season was fantastic. It was chef's kiss.
I'm excited about this season as well, though.
This season is called the post season.
Oh, is everyone involved?
Not everyone.
Whole bunch of teams are going to be competing?
No, sir. There's only a few who are competing, and the postseason is a 3-game stretch, and it begins right now. Yeah. Kirby knows it. The team knows it. That's why it's a brand new season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more to you. I set you up with that question, just wondering if you were going to take my side or not. But fact number one is there's nobody who motivates his team external of the opponent better than Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart does not need to use the opponent to motivate his team. He finds motivation in other places other than who's being played in the game. So the fact that LSU lost last week does nothing to put fear in my heart of Kirby's ability to motivate this team. And secondly, Clint, you said Kirby wants to win at everything. I would argue Kirby wants to win at one thing more than he wants to win at all the other things, and that is the SEC championship game. Kirby values this game more than any other coach in the conference. I believe that 100%. And there's a reason that you never heard Kirby say, well, we may have lost the SEC championship game, but we went on to win the one that mattered. We went on to win the national championship. We said that.
Yep.
You and me, we said that a lot. Kirby Smart never said that last year because it is eating him away inside. He is dying a slow death every moment that goes by that he's not the SEC champion.
Daniel, he was last week, G-Tech. We had this game in hand. They came out and they played us tight and everything. The referees were awful. Did you see the first time Kirby all season got up in a man's face?
Well, he got a bit perturbed.
Got a little hot around the collar first time all year last week of the season heading into the SEC game because he can feel it in his bones.
This is not a normal week for him.
No,
this is not a normal event for him. This game matters. I think he remembers 2019 LSU. I think that game sticks with him. I think he remembers what that offense. You look at what's happened these last few years with Kirby and his defense. You know that's not new for him. He's wanted that and expected that. Thought he should have that every year. And so the way that LSU game went down, the way that offense, that game got away from us, it was tight a little bit early, but that game got away in a hurry, and LSU put it on us the way that they put it on everybody. Kirby has not forgotten about that, and this game matters to him. Motivation, not an issue.
Look at the Florida series, Daniel, when he gets pumped up about how about them Dogs. He knows. We're going to come back after this, talk a bit about what to expect on offense and defense, who's going to show up. But first, I want to let you know about Omaha Steaks. Daniel, it's that time of year. I don't know if you understand what time of year that is.
Time to eat a bunch of steak?
It's time to eat a bunch of steak. That's exactly right.
That's 12 months from my friend. That's 12 months.
That's true. But now, apparently, it's socially acceptable to give gifts to your loved ones of steaks. I will always take steak as a gift. Okay?
Listen, if you're out there and you're wondering what to get your favorite podcast hosts as a holiday gift, steak is never a bad choice.
Never a bad choice. We like the flank or the filet. Or what if I was to also tell you there was air-chilled boneless chicken, fillets, ultra-juicy burgers, the whole everything of a butcher shop. This is the oldest butcher in America since 1917. Omaha Steaks gets conveniently brought to your door. And right now, all of our listeners can get 30% off with Locked On. That's 30% with Locked On. Right now, Omaha Steaks. Get it in time before the holiday rush. Minimum order may be required.
All right, Clint. Let's do a different thing. Let's talk about who needs to step up for Georgia? Let's name names. Let's get specific. Let's talk about offense and defense. Who needs to step up? And then segment 3, it's Tuesday. We're getting this out super late on a Tuesday, but the playoff rankings are not out yet. And so we need to do a little playoff ranking talk before the playoff rankings come out. So we'll maybe do that segment 3. But let's talk about offense, defense, and I'll begin on the offensive side of the ball. I think this is the week. Oh. I don't need him to score a bunch of points, and I don't need him to, but we've been saying all year, hey, take another week off, A.D. Mitchell. Hey, take another week off, A.D. Mitchell. Hey, we don't need you against Georgia Tech. I need you right here. I cannot have your first game back. I know there's a month after this, and that's what people have been saying. There's a whole month off after this game. We don't play again until New Year's Eve. But I cannot have his first game back from injury. I cannot have the first ball he catches being in the Peach Bowl in the college football playoff. That's not something I can stomach. I need to see A.D. Mitchell healthy and on the field and moving well. Now, does he explode for 8 catches and 92 yards and then 2 touchdowns? By the way, if that's his stat line, I'm just talking. My BetOnline should give me an insane amount of money so that I can bring Dukes to the national championship game.
That's right.
We get this thing done. I don't need him to do that. I just need him to come out. Stepping up for A.D. Mitchell is showing me that he's 100% and that he's ready for this college football playoff run.
Daniel, that offensive AD is key because, look, this is going to give you all the confidence in the world heading into the playoff run. If he is right, we got all 3 levels working in perfect harmony.
It's different. Casual college football fan hasn't been paying attention to Georgia, doesn't realize that it's different. Ask Alabama if it's different when your best wide receiver's out.
But the difference is, Daniel, we have kept winning games.
Oh, we won the game.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Okay, well, just ask Alabama if Hugh Freeze is an upstanding person. Alabama fans will have a lot to tell you about that.
They can talk all they want over to the side on the kids' table.
They are at the side. They're well to the side.
Well, the adults eat, and we're going to eat. Look, A.D. Mitchell's the key. I'm going to go on offense. LSU's got some bangers on D. They got that one kid, 45. Isn't that who it is off the edge?
I don't know his number, but that D lineman is a freak.
He's a freak. He is a freak, bona fide freak. I'm not even going to say offensive tackle because that's not my concern there. I'm not even going to say offensive line. They are gelling and they're doing well. I'm not even going to say Stetson Bennett. I think he's going to be fine. He plays up in big games, guys. He's big stage guy. Okay. Daniel, I need a continual threat of Kenny Mack doing Kenny Mack things. Ooh. Because if our floor, Daniel, this is
slow down. Yeah.
This is my argument for how successful we are in the college football playoff. If our floor is Kenny Mack on offense, we just fine.
And we're doing fine.
We're doing just fine. If our ceiling is AD, Ladd, Big O, Brock, Kenny, if that's our ceiling, just give me all the points. I will lay them all in every game. Okay. But if our floor is Kenny Mack, this thing changes. I'll go first on defense, who I need to show up. And this game in particular, because if you look at LSU's offense, how they run is Daniels running the football.
What are they about to do? Yeah, there we go.
They run the football with Daniels. He's
in a boot, Clint. I'm not sure if he's going to play in this game.
Okay. He's playing in this game.
He's going to play in the game. He played in the last game after he got hurt.
Your boy was not the most gifted athlete in the world. I had the ability to play on a high school team, had some fun. Thanksgiving break happened. I got injured before we hit a playoff run. My ankle was hurt. Coach fitted me in a cast, Daniel, because we had a lot of competitive. We didn't have a like Georgia does, but we had enough divisions where we had some scouts at practice. And so he put me in a boot all week long. Daniel, play a little game. I was just fine. I was just fine.
Just
Daniels is just fine. JDJ, keep being you, brother. This game's all about you. You go where he goes. If you are able to track him down, if you play like I know you're going to play, LSU has 0 offense. That's it. You are the crux. Smile Mond and JDJ, please do your responsibility. Play with tenacity and speed. We'll be just fine. Daniel, who on defense you got going?
Well, JDJ and Smile are going to be keys, but I would push back against if you shut down the Jaden Daniels running game, you're going to beat LSU by a lot. But that's not the whole offense because they also have very talented playmakers on the edge. LSU.
Yeah.
They have very talented wideouts. They have very talented players on the outside. And Jaden Daniels is not the best quarterback in the SEC.
No.
But he is able to get the ball to talented players in space. He's shown that over the course of the season. He's gotten better as the season's gone on. We make a lot of fun of Brian Kelly on this podcast, but I think Brian Kelly's done an incredible job with Jaden Daniels. And so to me, the key matchups in this game are not the two guys in the middle necessarily, although they are key. To me, it'd be the two guys on what is typically the right-hand side of the defensive front. Give me Keely Ringo. Give me Malachi Starks. The left-hand side.
I'm gonna go get a bucket real quick. Hold up.
The left-hand side, I feel fine about. Kamari Lassiter, Christopher Smith. Those two, I feel good. Keely Ringo, we know the story. We know the talent. He even said he had the worst first half. He had terrible first half in the Georgia Tech game, which is great. Taking ownership of the fact that he wasn't physical enough and he didn't play the way that he felt like he should. Bounce back game. It's time for a bounce back game from Keely Ringo. It's time for him to go up against some of these. I mean, Kayshon Boutte is a guy that he's going to be playing against in the NFL. And so you want to impress some scouts, and Keely Ringo wants to impress some scouts. If you want to impress some scouts, you have a big game in this one, and it goes a long way towards not only your team getting a championship, but it goes a long way towards your draft status as well. So need Keely Ringo and need Malachi Starks to be everything that they can be. The running backs at LSU are decimated with injury. It's not the strength of the team.
It's not pretty.
You can't run the ball in Georgia anyway. And so I expect this defensive front to kind of try to tee off, but the keys are at the second and third level of the defense, I think.
I hear that. And look, if you want to get the ball out in space, they're not a vertical. They take their shots. LSU certainly takes their shot. Brian Kelly loves that. But they like getting space playmakers. And if we have Christopher Smith and Malachi Starks coming downhill to tackle, I like it. Malachi, don't bite, brother. Just don't bite on the play fake. We're going to come back after this. But first, these announcements. I called them announcements like there's some sort of
what a great set of announcements.
What,
we learned
bulletin?
Where to go in case of a fire. Probably many other important things. You know what? Pick up a bulletin on your way out of the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. It's got all the announcements written right out for you. If you want to just snag one of those on the way out, they're on the back table. As you're leaving YouTube, the bulletins are on the back table. Just grab one. That'll be good.
You know what, Daniel? We're gonna do this from here on out. We're gonna have you on your phone from here on out because we can't talk over each other because you have to wait until I'm done. I have to wait till you're done, and we can't talk over each other. But okay, Daniel, playoff picture.
Plus, you have to do all the ad reads. Good for everyone.
Is this new?
No.
Loyal third segment listener, how you doing?
Third segment listeners are always here. Playoff picture is simple. Alabama has no chance of making it.
No.
Wah. Should we end the show?
For them,
I think that was pretty much it. I mean, there's the play. There are 5 teams. There are 4 spots.
Yep.
If USC wins, they're in, and Ohio State. Wah. Jim Harbaugh is your father. You need to start respecting him as such. If USC loses, which they're going to do.
By the way, that line is only 3 for a reason. Vegas knows something.
Okay. If and when USC loses, Ohio State is in, and welcome to the Thunderdome, Ohio State, because you got in the playoff and you are going to get embarrassed by the University of Georgia Bulldogs. I was scared of Ohio State earlier this season. That was the team I wanted to play the least. But that is not the case anymore. Ohio State does not scare me one bit. Please let them in as the 4 seed. That would tickle me to death. But that's it, Clint. TCU's in. Win or lose, TCU's in.
And Daniel, I'm
Michigan's
fine with it.
in. Win or lose, Michigan's in. Georgia's in. Alabama is not in, no matter what happens. So I don't know. There's nothing. I don't understand why this is being talked about.
Oh, Daniel, because it's this little thing.
Oh, don't you?
It's this little thing called ratings and controversy. It's how Stephen A. Smith, who doesn't know a thing about a thing, has made himself into a persona for everybody. It's the reason Brandon Walker has many followers is because if you talk about nonsense enough,
okay,
you get a following of other nonsense listeners.
I like that. That's something.
So that's the reason why Alabama is being spoken about, because you just have to throw air out there and it is meaningless.
Cool. Well,
cool.
Enjoy the Sugar Bowl. And if you win the Sugar Bowl, listen to me, Alabama fans. If you win the Sugar Bowl, Clint,
what can't they do?
They can never take that away from you. Back-to-back Sugar Bowl champion, Alabama Crimson Tide. Woo! Oh, it's going to feel good, Clint. Oh boy.
It already feel good.
A banner.
Look, that's exactly right. There is no other alternative to how this is all going to play out. Those are the rankings. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll have more. We got guests upon guests, Daniel. We talking to LSU crossover?
We're talking to LSU host tomorrow. The next day, we got Marler coming on the pod.
Look, you can't be on your phone for Marler. I'm telling you this right now.
No, I'll be back. I'll be in the friendly confines. Cake plate just right up here. We'll be fine. I may bake a cake. Put it on the plate. It
is a guarantee that bottles will be open.
I fully intend to ask him how Alabama could have the best offensive player in school history and the best defensive player in school history and the best coach in college football history and lose 2 games.
It's going to be lit. Get back here for that. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We will see you guys later.
See ya.